Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about mono versus braid, and this is my definitive answer for surf fishing. We're going to talk about braid, we're going to talk about mono, we're going to talk about a little bit about fluorocarbon. So let's start off with braid, right? So braided fishing line has been around for a long time. You know, back in ancient days, they used horsehair, they used silk, they used flax. In Japan, they used silk, and they coated the line with linseed oil to make it smoother. So, you know, it's been around for a long time, guys. I've got an old fishing reel that was given to me many years ago. This reel probably comes from, I'm gonna say, the early 40s. And it had a braided line on it. I'm talking about a thick braided line though. It was not like like we usually see. But braided line's been around a long time. And the technology, you know, from way back in ancient times till today, is just outstanding. So what braided line is UHMWPE. And what that stands for is ultra high molecular weight polyethylene. So when you buy a braided line, that's what the PE stands for, is polyethylene. Compared to monofilament in size. So if you've got 20-pound monofilament, and it's usually the size of 20-pound monofilament is 0.016 inches. And if you compare 20-pound braid, its size is about 0.010. So you've got a difference, 38% smaller, right? So generally, if you look at it, monofilament to braid, braid is going to be 35 to 45% smaller than monofilament. I'll give you some why you should use braid on the beach, right? So braid fishing line, of course, smaller in diameter. That means you can get more on your spool, right? It casts further. You know, another thing about braid is it floats. It doesn't absorb water. Monofilament and fluorocarbon absorb water. So that, you know, one or the other may help you out if you want your line floating, if you want your line sinking. I can tell you, braid, when you're surf fishing with it, the wind is blowing like all get out, it's going to affect your fishing because this is light line. Like I said, it doesn't absorb water. So it's not heavy. It's really lightweight. So it's going to have that bow in it. The only way you can get that bow out of it is if you use a Sputnik sinker, anchor it up, tighten it up, no bow, right? Monofilament absorbs water, gets heavier, right? And you're probably not going. Now we're just comparing 20-pound braid to 20-pound monofilament. You're probably not going to get that big bow in your line because this thing, you've been out there fishing and it's absorbed water, it's heavier. So you're probably not going to get that big bow in it. So when we compare these two, that braid and that monofilament, what is best for you on the beach? You're going to have to decide that. But I'm going to tell you what I think, and at the end of this video, I'm going to show you some lines. I'm going to show you some fluorocarbon. I'm going to show you some monofilament. And I'm going to show you some braided line that I prefer. So back to the comparisons. I fished with monofilament line for years and years. Back when, you know, I was thinking, man, that was the first braided line. No. When I researched it, didn't even mention this particular line. But back in the late 80s, I was doing a lot of freshwater fishing. I was fishing from a boat, brim fishing, bass fishing, and I bought me some of this spider wire. Some of this spider wire. I said, oh, this is gonna be good. It broke my rod. I actually got hung up and broke my rod. I broke a rod that, I love this thing. This was a Berkeley lightning rod. Man, you could take this thing and just bend it around like that. This spider wire broke my rod. I had nothing to do with it anymore for a long time. Guys, we're probably talking just 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I got back into fishing braid, right? And of course, I'm looking to save money, and I go out and I buy the cheapest braid I can find, the cheapest braid I can find. And it was horrible. It was just horrible. Wind knots. And at the time, I didn't have any braid on my surf fishing rods. I had braid on my inshore rods, and it was terrible. Bad experience. I stripped every one of them. No more braids for me. Went back to monofilament. And then I realized maybe we should try a little better braid, right? Not the, you know, $1.25 for 300 yards. So that's what I did. Didn't go crazy, guys, because I've tried them all. I have tried them all. And I've got some that cost, it's just ridiculous how much they cost. I'm not going to put their name out there because that's not what this is about. And they're a well-known braided line, and it's the crappiest braid I've ever used in my life. So I gave Braid another chance. And guess what? It worked out for me. There are a lot of good braids out there. Probably, you know, we love buying American-made stuff. But guys, if you want a good braided line, Japan makes the best braided line out there. And they do. You just can't deny it. And I love that Japan's a good friend of ours. But they make the best braided line out there. And I don't even know, some of the braided line I got don't even say where it's made, right? But you can, you know, monofilament, fluorocarbon, you can get it made right here in the United States. And along with monofilament and fluorocarbon, their technology is coming on too, right? So we fish fluorocarbon because of its less visible in the water, right? It doesn't damage as much. But what monofilament and fluorocarbon have in common is that little bit of stretch, that little bit of memory. And so you want to go out on the beach, you want to fish braid. And fishing that braid's strong. It is strong. So when I tie my leaders or my 2-drop bottom rigs or whatever it is, they're tied in fluorocarbon or monofilament. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a shock leader. Shock leaders, and they're really big time on the Outer Banks, but shock leaders are exactly what they say. They got a little bit of stretch to them. Now you got this braid, how many yards you got on there? It don't give. There's no stretch, there's no memory. But when you have this shock leader, there's a little bit of stretch. There's a little bit of stretch. And that stretch is good for strikes, bites, you know. When you go to set that hook, you have that little bit of stretch. When you go to set a hook and you're strictly fishing braided line, that's your main line, that's everything. There's no give there. So if you get hung up on something, you get hung up on a rock or an old tire or whatever, it's going to be hell to break that off with that shock leader or that leader or 2-drop, that's a leader. A 2-drop rig, single drop, that's a leader, right? You have that option to snap it off, retie, go back out there. Excuse me. So there's a lot of variables when we start talking about braided line, mono line, right? So definitive, my choice, right? You got to find what's good for you. You got to find what works best for you. So let's take a look at some of the lines I use. I'm going to suggest these to you. Just remember, I'm not in bed with any of these people. They don't breathe in my face. I'm not in bed with any of them. I'm just telling you what I use and I suggest. I'm not going to suggest anything to you that I don't think you'll like, because I think you'll like them. So let's start off with the, excuse me, let's start off with braid, all right, and what I prefer over everything else. So the braid I like using is right here. This is Hercules braid. I think this is the 10 pound. That's 10 pound. This is what I use on my inshore rods, and this is what I use on my surf rods. So many colors. This is a camouflage. So many colors it comes in: white, pink, red, white, and blue. It's just ridiculous how many colors you can get. But Hercules, I keep going back to it because it serves me well. You guys check it out. I'll drop a link down below to Hercules line on Amazon. You can go check them out. This is a 1,000-meter spool. Prices are not terrible at all. Not terrible at all. All right. So let's look at what monofilament I like using. It's right here. This is Berkeley Trilene Big Game, right? Now this particular spool, I bought this, I thought it was 15 pound, right? Because it was in the 15-pound thing. And I got home and I got to looking. It's 30 pound. Okay, whatever. I also tie leaders with this stuff. I tied my 2-drop rigs, surf fishing, with this stuff. So yeah, Berkeley Trilene Big Game. I've been using this stuff all of my life, and I've got many spools of it. Works well for me. Works well for me. So there's my mono pick, that Berkeley Trilene Big Game. All right. So just for giggles, we'll look at some fluorocarbon. All right. I also use Berkeley Trilene Big Game fluorocarbon. This is 20 pound. Won't break the bank. This is 350 yards for about $10 or $11. I swear by it. I swear by it. This is what I tie all my my 2-drop, single drop, pompano, whiting rigs. I use this. All right. And another fluorocarbon I use is this right here. This Cigar. Red label. They make blue label. They make all kinds of stuff. This is some good fluorocarbon. I suggest it. This is 15 pound. This is usually what I use on my inshore stuff, but you want to get it heavier. You want to tie your 2-drop, 3-drop, single drop, whatever. This is good stuff. So these are the lines that I use, and they've done me well. And I may be to that point that, hey, all right, I found the best of everything. But will it work for you? You got to make that decision. So is this definitive? For surf fishing, it is for me, and it may be for you. All right, guys. I tried to keep this one. I said I'm gonna try to keep this video under 12. Well, we're going over 16 minutes now, but I also said it takes what it takes. I want to get the word out there. I want you to have the best of everything. I would, my point is, let me go try it out. Let me go through all the crap, and then let you know what works best for me. And if it works best for me, it's going to work for you as well. So just remember, say it with me, UHMWPE, ultra high molecular weight polyester. Polyethylene. Polyester. Case in point, I screw things up too. And some stuff's hard to remember, right? All right, guys. So that's what I got. As far as braid versus mono, it's not a battle. It's what you prefer. You got to remember, mono's got memory. You get those coils in your line. It's, you got to change it out more often. So it's up to you. I prefer braid in the surf, and you may too. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I do appreciate you. You guys take care. Take care of each other, and I will definitely catch you guys on the next one.